Clarksville community in the city of Chicago. Heard around the world at urbanbroadcastmedia.com. UBM Talk, servicing the community and beyond.
The following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Talk.
Now here is the Let's Stay Together show with Reverend Ricardo McCain and author Brenda McCain, helping you to rebuild your relationships with God.
Hey, and welcome to the Let's Stay Together show. I'm your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, author Brenda McCain. How you doing, baby? I can't hear you, girl. I can't hear you. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go ahead, do your thing.
Really in it? Okay. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together Talk radio show, where we learn the rhythms of all relationships. And to know our glory, you have to do what, babe?
You've got to know our backstory.
That's right. Now, tonight's topic is a heavy hitter. It is, can you see me? Help, I'm being abused. Elder abuse is a growing problem in America. Many older people are victims of elder abuse. It is the mistreatment of an older person, usually by a caregiver. It can happen within the family. It can also happen in assisted living facilities or nursing homes. The mistreatment may be physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, neglect or abandonment, or financial abuse, stealing of money or belongings. Now, joining us tonight on this very, very informative topic on the McCain train to discuss signs of elderly abuse and how we could stop it, as well as legal advice when elder abuse takes place, is Ted and Rena Williams, owner of RS Independent Home Health Care.
Amen.
Their motto, or the motto I gave them, their motto is, there's no place like home. And at RS Independent Home Health Care, they understand their clients' desire for receiving quality care and services while embracing the freedom, comfort, and familiarity of being at home. We also have Cannon D. Lambert Sr, Esquire, respected trial attorney. Mr. Lambert's practice focuses principally in personal injury and wrongful death. He also provides quality representation in the areas of criminal, divorce, and medical malpractice law. To learn more about these dynamic guests we have on the train tonight, visit our website at www.letsstaytogethertalkshow.com.
Hey, we've got the Cannon on the show. You just got, remember, if you're looking for the Cannon, you've got the Cannon.
I appreciate you having me here.
We appreciate that. And we also have one of we just love these people here,
yes,
with Ted and Rena, because they are real. And let me tell you something, people. We're bringing some people that if you're looking for some elderly assistance, that you're talking about Christian people that are going to really take care of your family, that's why we have them here, because we believe in them 110% behind what they do. Go ahead, baby.
Okay, now that's a nice shout out for everyone. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, scriptures, because we have to give you the word.
Yes,
now,
we
this
do.
Is from Leviticus 19:32. It says, "You shall stand up before the gray head and honor the face of an old man, and you shall fear your God. I am Lord." This is for elderly abuse, and that's deep. Even though I got some gray hair in my hair,
that is
too.
deep. Yeah, but you still look good, baby, so don't worry about it.
Anyway, call in at 312-754-4333.
Hey, this is a very dear and a very touching subject to me because I was, Ted and Rena know, and I was letting Cannon know as well. Mr. Lambert, he's my guy now, so I can call him Cannon.
There you go.
But, my mom was just recently in a nursing home as well, and so the concern of mine was that she wasn't being cared for as much. Most of you all, if you haven't heard already, the recent situation in South Holland with the elderly person dying, I think she's 98 years old. Her name was Dorothy Bird, who passed away in a home out there in South Holland. They've been investigated. And so, Rena, I want to go to you because they had a situation there where they had about 6 people that was hospitalized because of, they may have been poisoning or something like that. Is this a concern that people who have someone in an elderly home, should they be more concerned now than ever about situations that happen with their loved ones in homes?
Absolutely. They really should be concerned about the care that they get in the nursing homes, because there is, for it to be 6 cases there's definitely something going on there. I don't know if there is. I can't speculate because I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But my opinion is something is seriously going on. Maybe the patients are getting over medicated or something to that nature. Something is definitely going on, and it should be investigated.
Ted, talk about that with me as well. I know for me, when I was at the the nursing facility, I was a little bit concerned because I was talking to, Cannon about it as well, is that when you walk in there, the place smells of urine. They don't seem like they're caring for someone. And now you've got someone here that basically cannot take care of themselves, and they're over-medicating over there, causing issues from them. As a healthcare provider yourself, how should I feel when I see something like this about another facility that they may be in?
Well, you should be very disturbed, Rick. I mean, anytime, first of all, you walk into, or before you even walk into the door and you smell the stench of urine and feces in the place, it's absolutely criminal. If you know that sort of thing is going on before you hit the door, just imagine what's going on once you get inside the door. It's very common in these nursing homes, from what we hear, that they do medicate the patients so they can be in a coma type state.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want them active. They don't want them asking for things. They don't want them asking for the normal things like food or going to the bathrooms. So you should be disturbed, Rick.
Yeah. Hey, Cannon, we were talking, and as not speaking as a lawyer, but just an individual, I mean, does this also concern you when you hear things like this, when you find out that elderly are being abused at such an alarming rate?
There's no question about it. The reality of it is, I forget being a lawyer. I mean, you're a human being.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the bottom line is that all of us should never feel like we're disarmed somehow just because we don't have some credential. The reality is that we have every right to expect that the people that we love are going to be taken care of.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely true. And it's alarming because some of the statistics that I found in here, that I'm going to let my baby go with her questions, is that, they're saying like almost 4 out of every 10 elderly people are abused in some state. And the alarming thing for me was, and I'm not going to talk about it, is that who actually abuses them. But, baby, I'm going to let you go to your questions.
I want to just rewind and let's have our listening audience understand exactly what is considered elderly abuse. So, Rena, can you break that down so they can understand? And it doesn't have to necessarily be in a nursing home or in your home. It could be just any elderly abuse out here.
There's so many different kinds of abuse, Brenda. Let's just start with financial. Sometimes you find children will take advantage of their own parents. Financials, neglect, being left at home all day by themselves. You can always tell if a person is being abused by their skin. Do they look dehydrated? Do they look fearful when a loved one, supposedly be a loved one, walk into a room? There's so many different forms of abuse. Let's just give an example. If you got 2 elderly people living together, one has dementia, trying to take care of another one, that's abuse. Yeah. How can you really take care of somebody when you can't take care of yourself? And the kids have no idea what's going on.
See, the funny, not to cut you off, I mean, I think what you're saying is directly on point. And a lot of times we have this notion that abuse has to look like somebody got hit or somebody got pushed down. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it's that I completely ignore you. I know you need help. I know you need care. So I'll lock you in a room or I'll restrain you because I don't want to be bothered.
Absolutely.
You also made a great point in the sense that it doesn't necessarily have to be at a facility, quote unquote. You've got quote unquote loved ones that don't do right by the people who helped to raise them up.
Absolutely.
And so it does. It runs the whole gamut. Elder abuse really looks like what you said. It can be sexual. It can be it can be emotional. It can be physical. It can be financial.
Mental abuse.
Mental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the sad thing about it is that when I was talking, that a lot of times they're saying the abuse that happens is usually by someone that you know.
Always.
And it's amazing to me that someone would do that. But, you understand people get frustrated and things like that. But this could be someone's mother that they're now frustrated with, and they're they're hurting or causing some kind of a pain. And it saddens me that happens in such of an alarming rate.
A lot of times, Rick, you find that the caregiver gets stressed out, frustrated. There's no relief for them, and they start abusing the patient.
Yeah.
And then they don't know how to go and get help. And a lot of times they're scared, don't know how to trust somebody to come in and help them. It's so many form of abuse. You can have, Ted, you want to jump in here? I see you want to jump in here, baby. Get your some. Get your some. Go ahead, get your some.
No, I wanted to jump in on that because that takes us right back to the nursing homes. Because when you have one caregiver to 8 to 12 different patients, just imagine.
Wait a minute, let's just put a halt on that. It's one caregiver to 8 patients.
And that's probably a good number.
I gave them a good
number. I'm
just
telling you.
Just imagine one caregiver taking care of one patient and they get burned out, right?
But, okay, because I really want to get into the nitty-gritty of this, I always thought, and from what we're hearing, that's it. You have to have a passion to do that kind of work.
You can have a passion of being tired, though, right? You can have a passion. I doubt very
and get burnt out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you
most
can.
people don't enter into the industry with the intention of trying to do something negative to somebody, but at the same time, it
can happen.
When you get tired, you do things that you otherwise wouldn't do, or you skip things that you should do. I mean, a lot of times this abuse looks like when you just don't feel like it, you don't go into the room, and so then you don't know whether or not they're. You don't turn them the way you're supposed to. There's some minimums as far as turning so that you can avoid bed sores. So you're supposed to turn a minimum of at least 2 hours.
Every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours. But you may not feel like it. And it's.
But that's the sad
That's a form
thing.
of abuse.
But
Who is policing them? To make sure it gets done.
Exactly. I'm going to go back to what Ted was talking about. You may have, and I'm talking from experience now. I worked in a nursing home when I was in my early 20s. I would have 13 patients. That's the whole side of a unit. Okay? You have to get these patients up, and I called it a quiet jail. You get up when they tell you. You eat when they tell you. You go to bed when they tell you.
Yeah.
Lights go out when they tell you. And you get 2 baths a week. Now, for me,
2 baths a week.
You get 1 on day shift and 1 on night shift.
A week, you said.
Not
a day.
I said a week. You get washed up every other day, supposedly.
Every other.
Absolutely. This is the reason why I started this business, home care, where you one-on-one, where you get the care that you're supposed to get. The care that I can't imagine my mother being in a nursing home and somebody bathing her twice a week. It's not going to happen.
I don't think a lot of people realize the fact that, because you all said something that most people don't even recognize, that you're supposed to turn them over in a minimum every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours.
Most people don't even know that's a requirement. Is that something that when you take them to the home that they show you in the information that we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to do that?
There's supposed to be a health care plan.
Right.
There's a plan that's implemented after they do an assessment.
Mm-hmm.
When you first bring them in, there's an assessment that's done to determine what the needs are of the particular patient. Then they come up with a health care plan, and that health care plan is driven by some of the directives that the doctors that are overseeing the care give.
Absolutely.
And then once that happens, that health care plan is supposed to be followed. Right. A lot of times what happens is that there's a breakdown, and the breakdown comes where the caregivers don't have the capacity to meet the needs of that care plan.
Absolutely.
If you've got one person that's overseeing 10, 12, 15 patients, how is one person supposed to turn a 250-pound person?
Right, yeah.
And do it 10 times? They can't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true. And you don't think about that, but if someone is that heavy or that person can't do that, more than likely they're going to neglect it because they don't have the capability. And like, Cannon said that, you can have a passion for a lot of things. I have a passion for many of things that I have, but you do get burnt out in certain cases. Absolutely. And the neglect just comes out of just natural wear and tear. So it's not necessarily all the time that people are being neglectful because they have a mean spirit. It's just that they're literally burnt out and they can't keep up with the program of so many people at one time. Go ahead, baby.
Well, let's go to the dynamics of this. Why is it only 8 8 patients to one caregiver person. Why is it one caregiver person?